All right, guys, it's Masterkey and
PRob.
We're doing podcast 0, which basically means we're doing a test podcast.
Yep.
We're doing 2 live videos, so these mics are actually going to a different recorder. So if it sounds like the audio is not as good as you think it should be, that's because we're saving this for YouTube. So we're going to put this with our higher quality camera, and then if you want, you can watch this whole thing back on YouTube.
Amen.
Right?
Amen. Yes.
And we got Kai in the background over there as our tech man. You can't see him; he's invisible. So we're gonna start with announcements first.
Do we jump right into it, or we want to get
Yeah,
a few
how
more
many
people?
we got? Let's see.
So far, TikTok.
Yeah, we got 12 people. That's
TikTok
pretty good.
got 4 people so far.
TikTok sucks. No, I'm just
Banned.
Yeah.
Dang it.
But anyway, we're just gonna start with the lock-in. So we just did a lock-in last, I believe it was Saturday night.
October 22nd.
Yeah, it was 22nd, 21st into the 22nd.
Yes.
I was behind the counter, so I think it went really well, but this guy actually played, so he'll give you some more information on how you think it went.
I think it went great. We had a blast. It was a long day, as always. All of our lock-ins are very long.
Didn't you
We'll
drive?
make the
You
best
drove
out of
like
it.
3 hours.
3 hours and 45
literally,
minutes.
Like showed up, played. You didn't even like take a break, and then you basically slept for a little bit and then went home in the morning.
Yeah.
Back to Medina MK.
Yep. So I actually loaded my magazines in Medina before I even went out because I know we wouldn't have a gap in between. So it worked out pretty well.
I like my head.
So it was good. We had about 45 people, I think. Obviously, would have been nice if we sold out. But that's all right. We gave away some pretty cool stuff. We gave like 2 Specna arms, a new rifle they just came out with, a Crytek LVOA.
Yeah.
Lova. Am I saying it right? LVOA?
Yep.
Lova?
LVOA. Yeah.
Okay, you're just making fun of me.
No, not at all.
I never know which one it is.
A little bit.
And we gave out a couple other things, dye mask, a bunch of patches.
And free play for a whole year.
Yeah, I know that guy was psyched. He
Yeah.
literally got free play for all of our locations for an entire year. So we did the math. We're like, if you play twice a week, it's like $3,000 for that whole year. So pretty good value as far as getting it for a raffle prize.
So that was pretty awesome. We're thinking about really sticking with the podcast, and if we do, we're going to start giveaways as well. So, we have to hit that like button, subscribe, share, everything, and then we'll start giveaways, giving gun Airsoft replicas away.
We got April, Randy, Gage, Warner. We got all kinds of people jumping in. What's up, everybody?
Warner, my guy. I love you, man. Randy.
Another announcement. We're just doing all the announcements first, and then we're going to go into whatever topics. We got a few things to talk about, but, if you guys have questions, you can always post them up there. And if we don't see it, our lackey in the background over here will catch it for us.
Oh, my Miguel.
Yeah. So, next announcement is...
We are closed Halloween.
Yeah. So, this coming Tuesday, because today's Wednesday, so Halloween we're not open. I think we tried to open like a Halloween last year and nobody showed up. So I think it just depends what day it is. If it's like on a Sunday, we'll probably stay open, but it's on a Tuesday, and a lot of people go trick or treating, hang out with their friends and stuff.
Yeah, let them focus on family.
Yeah, so we're not opening for that. Next, we got a lot to talk about for Operation Liberty Shield. If you haven't heard about it yet, it is a mini milsim that we're doing, and it's kind of cool because we're not really following any pathway that somebody else has done before. What I mean by that, I've not really seen any indoor field try to put on a milsim. Obviously, I use the word milsim very lightly. I know there's people out there who be offended that I even use the word. They're like, it's open play. It's not an open play. We are doing some cool stuff, and we are trying to take it to the next level in between indoor open play and an actual milsim. So we're just in the middle of being a little bit more serious, but we don't want you to throw people on the ground and drag them 10 feet to cover,
Right.
without being assisted. A couple of these places, which like I said, more power to them if that's people want to do. You actually have to be dragged for real, under your. And I'm like, there go my pants, just ripped in half, done.
Cranking a tourniquet on you.
Todd and Kevin Massey.
Hey, what's up, Todd? And Kevin. But yeah, we're definitely creating our own format to indoor and Milsim combining. So there's no copy and paste that we can do to copy off of somebody else's. So definitely trying something new for ourselves.
So there, as far as medic rules go, so you have 3 factions, right? We have Homeland Security, which is tan. We have the Iraqi Army, which is green, and we have the Russians, which is black. The Russian team sold out. Right now, green is ahead by 2 or 3 tickets. So the teams for tan and green are relatively close. So how the medic system works is we're doing 1 hand, 10 seconds, so standard medic, but there's going to be limited number of medics per team, right? So that's where it gets interesting because it's not every single person's a medic. So what we're going to do so the refs can easily identify is we're going to put blue tape on the arms of the people we choose as medics. I think we're going to do 5. The number can fluctuate depending on how many people actually show up.
Correct.
So, and then the Russians, how theirs... So basically, you have unlimited medics. But what happens, if nobody gets to you within 60 seconds, you're just going to go back and respawn. So you have unlimited respawns, but it's with a medic timer and a bleed out. So this is where it's important. We are not requiring dead rags, but we're highly recommending them. We are requiring dead lights, so because we're not doing a standard red versus blue armbands. So anytime you see a red LED, obviously you're going to know that person is dead. Standard red armbands can work too.
We do have a comment from Razor, too, actually. I really want to go to your Airsoft field, followed by, I think I'm done with mere tactical events.
Oh, I actually, I don't want to get too much into that because we're going to talk about it later. I do support Mir. I actually like them. They make some weird rules, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
Yes.
We also have another comment by a person named Maya. Do you have any advice for beginners on where to start, best gear, etc.?
This guy will take that one.
So it all depends on your play style. In my personal opinion, I always try to figure out a person's play style and their cost of what they want to spend up front.
Mm-hmm.
I started off HBA. I don't recommend everyone to start off HBA. AEG is a great way to start. Kai will swear by G&G all day.
I think you started with a broken AEG, or what? Was it working? Like your very, very first gun, wasn't it an AEG?
It was full auto, broken.
It was full auto, broken, and
bought it for $30 and HBA'd it.
$30, you can't beat that.
And
Yeah.
it was free.
Yeah, I worked hard for it though.
True.
So anyway, starting out stuff.
Yes, AEG, something if you're indoors, something compact, small, get around tight corners. I see a lot of beginners try to come in with a long rifle, and they're trying to take tight corners, and guns or replicas are coming out before their body is.
So I'm gonna nip this in the butt. Don't buy a sniper rifle. Every single new player wants to buy a sniper rifle because they see Kickin' Mustang and Navrich and all these people. They're getting these amazing kills. First of all, their sniper rifles are decked out beyond belief. Yeah. Second of all, they probably each have 10 years of experience behind them. Sniping is not easy. It's frustrating, and you have to dump a lot of money to get one that's actually good. And to be able to shoot at 500, you really have to go to bigger events. I guess some open plays do. Another thing, so to answer her question, we always recommend just going to a field and trying it for the first time. That's where you start. You go to a local field, wherever you're at, go to a local field. Hopefully they have rentals, because that's the best thing to do. Get a rental, try it out, and you might be like, this hurts way too much, F this, I'm out. Or you might be like, this is the best thing since, sliced cheese, I want to do this every weekend forever. So then, after you try it, then you go in and decide what kind of gun you want to buy, and then you kind of figure out your budget from there.
Yes, very true. I give everyone a prime example. I had a private party rented out, MK in Medina, and they were like 10 to 12 years old. First game, I kid you not, half of them sat out. They were like, it hurts way too much. I'm like, you guys spent all this money, to rent out the field. Long story short, we turned the lights off, put on the lasers, and played hide and seek. So we made it fun for everyone, but it just wasn't for that crowd. They didn't like it. It hurt too much.
Depending on the age group, yeah.
Yes.
So
definitely try it out before investing.
There are some players that need to grow into it first.
Very true.
They might not like it now, but as they get older...
This guy doing over here, he doesn't even have a mic.
Very true. Like, for an example, our buddy Russ, his son comes up and plays Momo. Shout out to him. and he takes it like a champ. He's young, he's 10 years old, and he gets out there every time.
Yeah.
He plays more than his dad when he comes out.
All right, we're going to keep moving on here. So back to Operation Liberty Shield. We have a couple other things. So it is a limited ammo event, which is another very new thing that we're adding, because obviously in the 2 to almost 2.5 years that MK has been open, we've never done a limited ammo event.
Correct.
So what we're doing is 6 mid-cap magazines. So I didn't actually put this in the rule, but for a standard pistol, I'm going to say that those are not included. So if you want to have like 3 28-round pistol magazines, I'm okay with that. Now, what is included, if your pistol is HPA tapped, you can't just have... That's not a pistol magazine. That's
Correct.
an M4. That's going to be your mid-cap. So it's a 40-minute mission. So 6 mid-caps is probably not going to last as long as you think. That's why we are also doing an additional Odin loader. Another thing we're doing, which I'm not sure if we put in the rules or not, so if you leave for the 40 minutes, we're actually not permitting you to go back on.
Yes.
Only because there's so many moving parts and we can't spare a ref to let somebody out, let somebody back in. And it just kind of makes the whole experience better if you actually stay out there for the whole 40 minutes. The whole gameplay is going to be slower, right? We're doing medics. So it's a 60-second bleed out. We're doing limited medics. So that means not even everybody's a medic. So you're really going to have to focus on staying with your group and hopefully staying with a medic so to accomplish whatever you want to do. Real quick to touch on the medic rules, we kind of went to ammo. To go back, Russians, which is only 8 of them, but they are not going to play for anybody. We're not going to like secretly say they're on green or secretly say they're on tan. So after we kind of used it, or we implemented it one day in an open play, we kind of figure out how well and the best way to use it to make it work. So all of the Russians are going to have 2 respawns on their first insertion into the game. So when they get deployed, they have 2 respawns, which obviously equals 3 lives. When they die the 3rd time, they walk off the field. When their entire group is dead, or 80% of it, we're going to reinsert them. And then every reinsertion after is going to be 1 medic, 2 lives. But basically, we are going to strategically place them in areas of whatever side is doing better. So they're not going to go for objectives. They're not going to go to a control box and change it to the other team, but they will go and potentially hold off that team from getting to that.
Yes, and the reasoning behind it is we don't want to control the whole gameplay. If we did it the other route, we would literally control the outcome of every aspect of the game, and we don't want to do that. We've been to events where the admins came through and grenaded everyone for no reason, just killed us all for no reason whatsoever, just to control the gameplay.
You're dead.
And I'm not going to lie, it was, I won't say what event it was, but we were destroying them, and it was like 150 on 150, and then they took 25 members of our team and put them on the other team. And then they're doing airdrops. They're doing the most trying to control the gameplay, and that's what we don't want to do.
So going back to limited ammo, we are doing 6 mid caps, 1 Odin loader, or whatever equals 1,000 rounds. I'm not sure how else you could carry 1,000 rounds. You could put them in a bag, but that's going to be rough.
Sound like a maraca running around.
And there still is no safe zone on the field, right? So even if you get back to your base, you're like, all right, I'm at Charlie, and I need to reload. That doesn't mean you can take your mask off. You still have to load with your mask on. And I mean, you guys do standard games at MK 15 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes, depending on if we're switching sides, 25 minutes. So 40 minutes is not crazy long as far as if you're like a standard indoor player and you've never done something like this. We don't want to scare you away with that. What else for limited ammo? So you can't have like an ARP-9 with a drum mag. We're not doing anything like that. So it does have to be, standard mid caps.
Yes,
right.
Standard mid caps, no high caps whatsoever.
No drum mags.
No drum mags. Are we going to do penalties for leaving the field? I know we talked about it at once.
No, so I just want to do, if you leave, you just can't go back in. You have to wait for the next reiteration of the next mission. You have to wait for the next mission.
That
as
also
far as that goes.
Shows people how, critical they are to the mission. If you just walk out on your team, be prepared, use the restroom before you get on the field, stuff like that. Make sure you bring lots of water.
If you're a GoPro nerd, like myself, make sure you got GoPro batteries or a charging pack. Anything, and obviously don't be walking out there with a whole bag of tools, Michael Marsh, what? Just kidding, Mike, I love you. I wouldn't even, like I said, it's 40 minutes, guys. It's realistically, it's not that long. This is not, there's games that are 6 hours. There's games that are 10 hours. There's games that are 40 hours for, the Milsim West and all them. So this is 40 minutes. It's not that long. You'll be fine. Just get enough ammo. There is no cap on grenades.
Yes.
So you want to carry 20 grenades out there for that 40 minutes. You can. That is entirely up to you, right?
Yep.
Todd says here, 40 minutes goes by quick when moving and communicating.
Very true. Now,
we do recommend radios too. You want to touch on that? You don't have to, but
communicating with radios is great. Back to the grenades. Still MK rules. No tagging rounds, nothing like that. No smoke grenades.
Yeah, no smoke grenades.
Yeah. So that's a big thing, definitely.
So next, another thing we're going to touch on is we're going to be running 5 control boxes. So we still have our 2 original Ares Alpha boxes, which we are going to move every mission. All right. So you have your 3 standard control boxes, the new ones we did that have the LED lights. Those are not going to move. You have one inside the White House. You have one in the lower gray 2-story. It's the only room that has a door on it. And then the third one is over by cemetery. So the Ares Alpha boxes, though, we're going to move, and we're not going to tell you where they are. So this is where it gets kind of crazy, and it's kind of awesome. You're going to have a mission for that 40 minutes. You may complete it faster. You may not complete it. Or it may take you the whole 40 minutes. We don't know. So you have the main mission, and then you have 5 control boxes that you're trying to worry about. So obviously it's up to you. You're like, do I want to go guard this control box? Do I want to worry about the mission? What do you think about that?
Or divide and conquer. You got to communicate with your teams and say, hey, we're going to push objective. I need you guys on the control boxes. Stuff like that. You have to communicate.
But that's why there should be never a point in the 40 minutes where you're like, I'm going to go sit on the spawn. Obviously, standard MK rules apply. Don't spawn camp. But in addition to that, there's 5 control boxes, which 2 of them, you're not even going to know where they are. So you're actually going to have to go and find them. And when you get shot, you're going to be waiting for 60 seconds or to go back. So either way, you have limited ammo. You have limited medics. It's going to be a slower game, and it's going to be longer. So like I said, we're just trying a different format. If it works and everybody loves it, we're going to do chapter 2, in a couple months from now. If everybody hates it and said it was the worst thing ever, you're not getting a patch. No, shit. No, you get a patch. Everybody gets a patch.
You'll still get a patch, but we'll find something different. Money doesn't stop, so we're always going to try to look to grow and do something better.
Comment by Jack_E3567. Unpopular opinion, DSG over HPA.
It depends who you ask. Michael Marsh is going to swear by DSGs. I run HBA. HBA is life. It's Gabe's fault, actually.
Yeah. I think I switched probably 5 years ago. But for the first 10 years, I played Airsoft, because I've been playing almost 18 years now. The first 10 years, I only did AEG, and I loved it. The problem was there wasn't people that could tech. There was literally one company. They're long gone, and the owner's long gone, so I don't feel bad. They actually had pretty decent guns. It was called Oppenheimer. I don't know if you ever remember the name. It's old school Airsoft. If anybody's been around for a while, they'll know. But I actually had 2 M4s built by them, and they were pretty sweet guns. Like, they could shoot far, they could shoot fast. I just go for the reliability of HBA because it doesn't break. But if I could tech, I definitely like AEGs. I would have one as something that I could switch to, because some of the longer, bigger events, it does suck to have a tank and a hose, and I get that aspect of it too.
Let alone carrying water back there as well. Water in your back on top of a tank, hose, regulator. But
Ramirez,
I haven't seen.
We see you in there.
Shout out to Ramirez.
Yeah,
I love you.
I hate playing against you. You're a beast.
Yeah,
I still love you though.
But I've never seen anyone run a DSG all day and not have problems with it. That's my biggest problem when I see it from an outside perspective. You're always working on a gun. It's not reliable to me.
It seems crazy that nobody has stood above everybody else in that game of DSG and single sector and dual sector. Even Umbrella Armory, I personally owned 3 of them, and they last about, if I use them a lot, 4 to 6 months. I've had a couple break after 3 game. And I'm not hating on Umbrella Armory. I have one of their HPA guns. Their HPA gun works it's going on a year now. And it's just the high stress of the gearbox. Just design doesn't make it last super long. Now I will say they fix them and you can send them back and get parts and all that stuff. But it's just the mechanisms of it and all that stuff.
Even the quietness of an HBA, you put a suppressor on there, it's quiet.
It depends where you play too. Some people like to be loud and they want the people to know where they're at.
Yeah.
You got a comment, Gabe, by Shark. Gabe, it's me, Carter. I helped with the tape on Willard's field. And will you be there in Medina on Saturday?
Yes. So I'm not playing the event. Obviously, especially since this is our first event, I want to make sure it runs super smooth. Especially the fact that we have an 8-player team that is the Russians, and we have to constantly be reinserting them. So yeah, Pat will be there. I'll be there. We'll have our regular staff. Ben will be there, and we're gonna make sure everybody has a good time. We're giving away $1,000 raffle prizes.
Yes.
And you can every player gets a raffle prize with the entry, and then you can also buy additional tickets for $5 if you want a better chance at winning something.
Well, not every player gets a raffle prize; they get a raffle ticket.
Oh, right.
So
right.
yeah, clip it.
every player gets a patch though. So we got plenty of patches. They're actually super cool. They're rubber patch. They're not felt. And they're smaller. I always like smaller patches.
Yeah.
Just because it fits better on your gear.
That one patch that Mir gave us, the half circle, that was a big patch, dude.
Yeah. Some people are about the huge patches. I consider my vest and my uniform is my real estate. I only have so much real estate, and I'm gonna give it to the coolest.
SRT.
Yeah, the coolest. I'm gonna give it to the coolest, smallest patch. So if I can fit a smaller patch on there, I'm gonna go with that one. Not necessarily, the name brands. I don't care about that. I want to have what looks nice and fits together.
Yeah.
So, Shark replies again. Wait, there's an event this Saturday?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So we're just gonna keep saying it. Saturday, guys. There's no open play. All right. You want to touch on uniforms? Go ahead and touch on that. What we're requiring and what is not okay.
I don't know all the special camos.
Not all of them, but I'm just saying.
That Pat can answer. What brand of gas pistol do you recommend?
High Kappas. I swear by Toki Marui High Kappas myself. Easy to work on, and when they break, you can get parts really quick and accessible. The 5.1 is our home gun because we carry all the parts for it. So if it breaks on the field, you come up to the counter, I'll even help you get it up and going. That's the best part about it. I do not know how to work on Glocks. I do not like Glocks, even in real steel.
We sell a lot of Glocks, though.
We sell a lot of Glocks.
People like Glocks. I'll touch on the uniforms. It's basically tan is multicam or solid tan. You got green is MO5, M81, solid green, Ranger green. And if you have any questions, if you're even slightly contemplating that your uniform might be incorrect, just take a picture of it, send it to us on the MK Medina Facebook page, and we can let you know if it's going to be okay.
No ghillies.
We're not doing ghillies. It's too confusing.
Yes.
It's an indoor field anyway. You're not blended in with the back of the white bus. So.
Yeah, with the ghillie suit.
I like the enthusiasm. We're not doing ghillie suits just because there is no armbands, right? So there's no identification except for what color the uniform is.
Yes.
And then obviously the Russians are going to be wearing all black.
And ghillie suits are hard on indoor as well because if you get hit, you get hit in your ghillie suit, you're hit. So if it's dangling here, you're not going to know you're hit. Then people are going to get upset because you're not calling your hit.
Right, that is a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yes.
So Saturday, 10 to 5, mini milsim, Operation Liberty Shield. Anything else on that front?
No open play.
I think that's pretty much it. The objectives we are not going to tell you till the day of. So 2 or 3 are going to be like a normal objective that we have, but it's a normal objective game plus the 5 control boxes, right? So either way, it's a lot going on. And then we have a couple new objectives. We're actually even changing a small portion of the field to accommodate one of the missions. We're actually going to be closing up 2 doors just to make it super interesting. So that's something to look forward to.
And they are really dope. So once you guys hear it, I promise you, I'm like, that's hot.
Yeah.
Very hot.
Every Dumax dog. We all have LMGs in this one.
No LMGs, no Filato.
Yeah. I was even thinking about it for Willard, which we're going to talk about that in a minute. But even then, it's just when one person uses full auto, everybody thinks they can. I may do it one day, like a year from now, if we do these mini milsims and they go super well and everybody's following the rules and we have the details hammered out, then maybe we could add in an SMG class. But it's just something I have to figure out down the road and see if it's even worth it.
Yes, we have a lot of new players coming into MK. I'm talking probably 50 a week minimum coming into MK. They're not going to know the difference of who can go full auto and who cannot go full auto. So that's
well, they probably won't be coming to a milsim either. But yeah, right. It's a very good point. We're gonna jump over to Specna Arms. What? Look at this. Yeah. So kind of as far as news aspect of that, they are trying to separate themselves from Evike, which is totally understandable. They feel that Evike is not giving airsoft shops and fields a good deal as far as their dealer margins, which they are not. Evike still is not bad. We get decent margins, but they're not. We're not making millions of dollars. So they are going back to being on their own, and they're setting up all their own dealer accounts. It was pretty cool, though. We actually had this guy, Charlie, from Specna Arms. He's awesome.
Shout out Charlie.
Shout out Charlie. He didn't fly over just to see us. It would have been nice. But he was taking care of the whole East Coast, going around field to field. And but yeah, he literally just called me on Sunday and was like, "Hey, when can we meet up?" And he drove on Monday, and he brought a bunch of cool guns. It was funny though, like literally 2 weeks before we were already looking at Specna.
Yeah.
Like we had some in, and we were like, "Holy cow, these things are solid."
They're dope. Very, very dope guns. And what's great too is we're gonna try to continue with this podcast and growing. But he doesn't mind jumping on the podcast with us either. He said he'd join, so that's pretty dope. We want to do guests. We want to talk to new people.
I know you talked about it a touch on your live, but you want to talk about like the overall quality and kind of what they do and
yes,
what they have as far as like almost every single one has a MOSFET, which is insane.
Even their budget gun has a MOSFET in it. It's amazing.
Comment on Shark real quick. Will Sunday be open play? Regular open play?
Sunday will be open play 10 to 6.
Yeah, standard open play Sunday, Friday. Go ahead. Anyway, Specna Arms. So,
out of the box, even their budget gun budget replica, I apologize before we get kicked, comes with a MOSFET. Their budget gun comes with a high cap, which, it's not bad. But the rest of their guns come with 2 mags. Pretty awesome gun.
And almost every single one comes with a grip, which is amazing. Very few airsoft guns on the market come with a 4 grip and 2 magazines.
Yes. Especially their flex model for younger kids getting into airsoft. The gun literally flexes before it breaks. That is pretty amazing. I've seen people bring back their gun in 2 pieces, ask me if they can fix it. I'm like, no, it's tested.
Real quick, Jake asked if we are allowed to have speakers while we're playing for the milsim. I'm going to say no. One of the reasons, so obviously, if you don't know some of the stuff we're talking about, go read the rules. There's additional rules, on the event page that are not in the MK rules. So all standard rules apply, but we have more rules that we're adding in specific to this event. So one of them is, one of the ways we're going to be inserting the Russians is we're going to give a 10-second nuke countdown, which we're going to use a loudspeaker for. We might play the Purge music, something that is ominous. And that 10 seconds gives you time to clear that area, and that's where we're going to insert the Russians. So we can't have other people playing music. And also, we're going to need to communicate with radios to the Russian team because we need to know when they're all dead, right? So we can get them back in the game.
Correct.
That's another reason, too, if you're wondering, like, why is a Russian ticket 45 and I'm paying 65? Their time to play is slightly less because they're not going to be out there for the full 40 minutes. Like, if they are the first person to die and their 7 teammates last 10 more minutes, wow, you're sitting out 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Don't be the first person to die. I mean,
do better.
Do better. Anything else on Specna Arms?
They come flat hopped. You want to explain flat hopped?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So even as far as a technical aspect, I can't really explain it. I know that the nub itself is flat. It's pretty cool how they work. You just get better trajectory. But a lot of them have the rotary hop-ups, which I was really impressed. It's basically the direction the airsoft is moving is just for AEGs, for all guns, is basically the rotary hop-up versus basically the old style. So they essentially have the new style of hop-up in all of their guns. And they're just beefy. I mean, they're like full metal. Even their cheap ones, like, and by saying cheap, I mean their price is cheap. The gun doesn't feel cheap at all.
Yeah.
So we are going to be carrying, basically a surplus amount of their weapons moving forward.
Also, they had their flex
Yeah, he was
With the
talking
type
about
of
the Fletch.
Yes, they all come with a tight bore barrel for sure. And even right now, they're transitioning everything over to Dean's. Right now, Dean's is superior. And their MOSFET is on their Dean's connector, so that's pretty dope. It actually makes the connector a lot more firm.
Damien said hi. Shut up, Damien. No, I'm just kidding. Damien asked how big the event is. It is going to be our sold-out number, 65. I'm just kidding, Damien. Calm down. Pat's dying over here. We may need to come back after this commercial break, guys. No, I'm just playing. We're good.
Shut up, David.
Anything else for Specna Arms before we move on?
Oof.
Somebody here knows Patrick. Hayden O'Neill. Patrick.
Hayden, my guy. He's the
Oh,
first one to show
on
me.
TikTok?
TikTok.
Nice.
Yes, I love Hayden. He's the one who showed me about the CZ Shadow in Airsoft. Beautiful gun.
All right, so we're going to talk about a sore subject. And it's a sore subject. It's a fantastic thing, but it's also a sore subject. We're going to talk about Willard. So
Yes.
every single person, I think I already saw like 5 comments in the stream. People are, when's Willard? When's Willard? So for those of you that don't know, maybe some people on TikTok have never heard of this. So we're opening a third field. I signed the lease. This is where it gets depressing. I signed the lease in December, and it is now almost November. So we're almost clearing a year in time of not being able to open.
Yes.
So to go into some of the details without getting crazy into the financials, which the interesting thing about this, there is zero money that I could throw at this problem to fix it. There's no dollar amount.
Yeah. So,
yeah, we submitted. Basically, we have been stuck at the planning review stage, which has never happened. Medina, probably 3 to 4 months, I would say, from when we actually. Now it's probably 3 months from when we actually started trying to get open. Like everything was done being built to when we actually opened, probably 3 months. Middletown was insane. They were awesome. We literally opened in under a month from when we were ready to them showing up to them coming back for a re-inspection in like a week, and then to them letting us open. So this is obviously not our first time, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we know what we're doing, and they're just giving us a really hard time. But anyway, we're stuck at the planning review stage, which is basically means we submit our drawings, which we have an architect, like a licensed architect, that drew up the plans, and they say yes or no. So I think I was telling you about this, how it is written, because I asked my architect, I'm like, what does it say in the code for Ohio that they have to be able to approve this plan? What's the factors? And he's like, they have to understand it. Like it doesn't have to be a scale drawing. It doesn't have to be 3D. They literally just have to understand it. So it's super open-ended. But anyway, we submitted, my 4th time was last week, and they denied 4 times my plans, basically. So, which we built everything already, so it doesn't matter, but.
Yeah. The best part about it is when we open Medina and Middletown, there's no gray zone. If there's a problem, they're going to tell you what you need to fix instead of just denying you and say, fix it. Well, what's the problem? How are we going to fix it? You know?
So it was obnoxious. They just keep citing the Ohio Revised Building Code. They keep citing sections from the code, but these sections that they're citing are extremely open-ended as far as some of the sections are just like definitions of things that have to do with building. It makes no sense. Go build the wall. What?
Who gave this guy his job?
Yeah. Anyway, so this Friday, 2 days from now, I will have not necessarily an opening date, but I will have more information than I have had in 6 months.
Yeah.
So we have the chief building official coming out, and we have the fire inspector, and they're just going to do a walkthrough because they just don't understand what Airsoft is. So I'm excited about that. They're going to do a walkthrough. I'm not sure if they're going to classify this as the final walkthrough. I doubt it. That would be really nice if they do. The only good news is either way, both of them would have to be in the building to do our final walkthrough. So it's like they're going to have to come back anyway. So they might just say, hey, this is...
We're already here.
Let's just do the final. But anyway, first problem was the sprinklers. We had an insane amount, and I'm not even joking. Like, we did get a good deal in rent. It's not that good of a deal when you're paying rent for 6 months and not making any money. So that part's been rough. But as far as a good deal on rent, the owner kind of knew that the building was rough as far as the sprinkler system went, and it just needed a ton of stuff repaired.
Yeah.
You saw it though. This is like, just compare this to anything in the world of indoor airsoft.
I tell everyone, it is something you can't explain. When I tell you it's beautiful in there, I mean, it's massive. It's beautiful. There's no other way to explain it. And I get asked probably 20 times a week from different customers, the same customer over and over. As soon as we know, you guys will know. I promise we're not going to like try to hide it from you and then surprise, we're open tomorrow. We want to have the excitement and build it up for everyone else. We're going to tell you as soon as we know. And
so Randy asked, do you think you're going to put a speed QB map in? So I actually regularly talk to probably 3 or 4 field owners. Some of them are in the state, some of them are out of state. And 2 of them have the, what's the official name? I don't want to call it Speed Soft Field, but Speed QB, I guess you call it. The official designation of the field that is for tournaments for Speed Soft. And they all have told me that they don't make money. Just straight up. They are a net loss as far as that amount of space utilization for that item specifically.
Yep.
So, and one of the guys has had it for 2.5, almost 3 years now, and he just said his regular open plays make twice as much. So it's a cool idea. I like the idea of it being a more official sport, maybe trophies and this, and people get more competitive. But you know, the customers don't lie. The customers don't lie. The customers don't want that. Obviously, there is a small group. I'm not going to say nobody wants it, because there's teams out there that do want to take it more seriously and they want to do that specific type of thing. But for the amount of area you have to dedicate, it's not worth it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very biased about the whole tournament aspect. People have a problem cheating for free. So when there's a tournament and there's money on the line, they're going to cheat even harder. That's the biggest problem we want to get out of. That's why we tell anyone, when in doubt, call it out. You have people like questioning, did it hit them? If it hit, you call it. You scare people out of the sport when you see all the YouTube videos of people just cheating all day. And I hate it.
Yeah. I mean, our player base is built off of new players, like rentals. Like Pat said, we get 50 a week. Now that's, spread across the 4 days, whatever. But on average, we do 10 rentals a day. And those are all people that have never played Airsoft before.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to sign a waiver. They're going to try it for the very first time. So you want an environment that's, easy to understand. Like, hey, go hit this button on the box. It's a control box. Okay, cool. People want to be able to engage for the first time and not have a bad time. So going back to Willard a little bit, the sprinkler systems is crazy. I have pictures of it somewhere of the hundreds, and I'm not exaggerating, hundreds of feet of pipe that had to be replaced. So for those of you that haven't seen pictures, it's really cool. But basically, it's a half storefront retail, like it's designated to, what would you call that? It used to be a display shop for furniture.
Yeah.
And the other side is what used to be a warehouse. I believe Ace Hardware was the last people there. They had a lumber yard. So the difference, I learned so much stuff once I rented this property. I've learned an amazing amount of facts that are completely useless. But it's a wet and a dry system. I'm going to bore you guys with it because you guys have been asking me what's going on. So I'm going to explain it.
Yeah.
So the awesome news, the wet system was 100% perfect. It didn't have a single leak. It didn't have a single problem. The hundreds of feet we've been replacing is the dry system, which basically an air compressor puts air into the system and it just holds air until a sprinkler head pops and then the system floods with water. And then the water comes out through those pipes. A wet system means that the water is inside those pipes at all times. That's the main difference.
And the reasoning behind the wet system and the dry system is for the wintertime. If it's not enough heat out there, it's going to freeze the water inside the line, and it'll burst the line.
Josh said Springer Pistol Tournament. That's a pretty good idea, though. I could get down with that. So,
wait, what Josh? McCants or Samodi?
No, is that Samodi? No, the last name. M-U-S?
I can't see.
You blind?
I am. Oh, okay, I know Josh. He runs ARP9 with his phone number on the side. Girls don't call him.
What?
Literally, had on the dust.
I love that. That's awesome. It flips down. Hey, right here, just give me a call. That's nice. I like that. That's real nice.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
Anyway, what do you think about that? Springer pistols. Why does that have to be a tournament? We could just do a spring pistol day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. My representative from was it Valken, actually has told me multiple times that there's indoor fields that they do it once a month, though. They don't do it every week.
Yes.
They do a once a month Springer game, and everybody loves it. So that's an interesting idea. It kind of takes you back to the roots.
Yeah.
My first gun was a spring gun. They didn't even have HVA guns when I started playing. That's how long ago it was.
Old.
Yeah, no. 18 years. It's literally been 18 years. So what else? What else about Willard?
Comment from Becker Morgan. Damn, the head ref of that field must be dope. But not anymore. No.
Speedsoft isn't as popular role as it used to be, honest my opinion. Notice Airsoft.
Jake.
Yeah. So yeah, Speedsoft is just not, like I said, it's a huge demographic of weaponry, I would say, but you don't have to be a Speedsofter to run a high caliber pistol.
Yeah.
I've seen people run them at Milsims. Is it right? I don't know. I'm just saying that's what I've seen. So there is an aspect of the guns that people like, and I will always understand that. To have something smaller, lighter, faster, it looks cool, bright colors, never going to hate on you for what kind of gun you run.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of Airsoft, is everybody can have a different looking gun. I think that's probably one of the coolest features. In Australia, they have to have like clear guns or something. I think it's banned, but is that Australia?
I don't know. I know California.
I think Canada is outright banned.
Yeah. So Canada, they have to classify them as rifles.
Yeah, yeah.
And they have to be over our limit here.
Oh, no, yeah. Australia's banned. I just remembered. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Australia only has gel blasters. Yes. Yeah. But they have like a hybrid airsoft gun that shoots gel blasters and like.
And they have to be weird colors, don't they?
Yeah.
Gel blasters
they have to be clear
colorful.
or weird colors. But anyway, some for next year. We already did talk about grenade rules. The standard grenade rules for the Milsim guys: 10-foot kill radius, no limit for grenades. You can have as many grenades as you want.
And we have them by the caseload, so when you're ready, come get them from the front.
Yeah, come see Patrick, PRob. So what else about Willard? So anyway, the whole dry system was jacked up, and probably like 3 months have went by. They were fixing the dry system. They're fixing the dry system. All of a sudden, the guy tells me that's there. He just tells me this. Hey, by the way, you have to fix your heat detectors. And I have 2 commercial buildings. This is my 3rd commercial building. I've never heard of heat detectors in my life. I just said I've heard of them. I don't know anything about them. Okay, right. There's 60 of them in the warehouse, and they're connected to the alarm system. They're wired in to the sprinkler system. So basically, what the lumberyard did, they have a 2-prong system, which is good for us, but it's a pain because all the sprinkler heads, or all the pipes had to be replaced, almost 80% of them. Anyway, so I asked him, I said, can we just get rid of this? It's one wire, right? It's just a wire. We unhook it because the sprinkler system, I thought, okay, it's going to work independently of these heat detectors because the other side of the building doesn't have heat detectors. They're only on the warehouse side. On
the dry system side.
So I call one of these companies that does heat detectors, and they give me an estimate of $12,000 to change the system and get rid of the heat detector. I'm like, $12,000? Oh, that's insane. My mind was blown. And then
a longer wait period as well.
And a longer wait period. So to get rid of any kind of fire system, you have to get a letter from the state, and they have to approve it. It's like a whole big deal, which we're already going through many local big deals. But anyway, so then we get a quote. I said, what if we just replace all 60 heat detectors? I'm like, that's a crazy amount of heat detectors, and they're super high in the ceiling. I was like, what if we just replace all 60? And they were like, yeah, that's $10,000. I'm like, okay, we'll just replace them. So we ended up replacing them. All the heat detectors are new. The system is going to be up and running. Hopefully, actually, by tomorrow, they're putting the last piece in. And then our inspection, not real inspection, but like walkthrough is Friday. So I do want to point out, Willard City has actually been fantastic. So the mayor's office reached out to me. They were super excited to have us. 2 members of the city council messaged me on Facebook and said they want to play like at the field when it's open. Yeah. So Willard has been amazing. All the holdup is the county And the problem is their building inspections, because Willard is such a small county, such a small city, that their inspections have to go through the county. So that's kind of where there's a big disconnect to, what they allow and what actually happens, I guess.
It's funny because we were to the point where I wanted to say, post the phone number and have all of our customers call him and see how quick he gets it done.
Yeah.
I was frustrated.
Hey, I was half ready. I'm like, what kind of fine are we looking at if we just open? Because I was like, I might be able to afford the fine if we can just open a couple days. We might be fine. I don't know.
I got a comment from Todd Kemp. Our speed softers playing Milsim seems overkill on their end for an event based on Milsim.
So that's the best part about the speed softers coming into the Milsim aspect. By all means, we're not going to ever turn them down, but they have to realize they get 6 magazines. They're not going to be able to spray around every corner like they would do in open play. So that's why we put a cap on the magazines.
That one guy a couple weeks ago just shooting every corner.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, you can pre-fire, but you're going to run out of ammo pretty soon there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Willard is amazing, guys. I will definitely have more information. I may have a definitive answer. I doubt it, because it's a city, and the city, or the county per se, it's kind of like the IRS. You ever get audited and not owe money? No, never. You could be the perfect guy, file your taxes immaculate. They're still gonna get $200 from you. Hey, you put this number in the wrong place. So that's kind of how it is when you do an inspection. You could do everything they've asked, and they'd be like, "Oh, actually, this office door swings in. It really should swing out."
Fine.
What? And we're not gonna let you open until you do that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So we'll make a deal. If we find out tomorrow, hypothetically speaking, everything gets going.
Tomorrow's Thursday, but yeah.
Thursday.
Friday.
By next podcast, if we get 50 likes and shares, 50 shares, we'll tell everyone the date.
Yeah, we're just going to keep it to ourselves.
If not, we're keeping it to ourselves. That's know nothing.
Punishable by a fine means legal for a price. That is amazing. Punishable by a fine means legal by a price. I love it. Chase, that's pretty good. Damien, I don't think that's how it works. Oh, it's going to work. We're going to make it work.
Shut up, Damien.
Still on that.
Clip it. That's what
clip
it.
Chat, clip it.
Backtracking to the Liberty Shield. How many tickets are available?
We still have about 15 tickets for green and I think 14 to 15 tickets for tan.
Yes.
It's like I said, it's real close. The Russian team is sold out, but we are only 2 days away. And please, please, please wear the right camo, guys, okay? I don't want to turn you away, but I will. And worst case scenario, you can just drive to Walmart and buy some freaking green pants and a green t-shirt.
8 minutes away.
And we're going to let that slide. But if you show up in gray ACUs...
and a Hawaiian t-shirt.
I'm going to punch you in the neck. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. I'm going to have Pat punch you in the neck.
I'll do it.
So, but yeah, we don't want to turn anybody away, guys, but just make sure you have the right uniform. Because I said that's the biggest aspect of how you're going to tell who is on your team, right? You got to shoot at the right people.
Yeah.
Guess what? You shoot your own guy, he's
dead.
He's still dead.
So another thing about a lot of people getting into the airsoft community, not understanding, people get hit in their gear all the time. Kai and Nate actually target my vest or my pouch and let me know, like, hey, I hit you in the pack. I'll never argue. Thank you for calling out my hit. Thanks for hitting me, not in a soft spot, hit me in the neck, stuff like that. But let people know they hit them, or you hit them. Don't scream, call your effing hit. I hate when people do that because you're using white BBs in the middle of a night game thinking you're hitting someone and you're not.
Ramirez just said, punch me, you won't.
You're so skinny you might break.
Is that a threat, Ramirez? You trying to get something going here? 50 minutes. You want to keep going?
50?
Yeah, we're at 50.
It's pretty good though. It's pretty good info.
It's pretty good information.
How about any more questions for us?
Yeah.
And everybody, check in with us. Let us know you're here.
Yeah. We still have 24 viewers. We've stayed above 20 on Facebook for the entire hour we've been on. So that's pretty exciting. I'm happy to see you guys watching.
I think TikTok got to almost 200.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
200 viewers?
Yeah.
Oh,
Peak
snap.
was 127 around there.
Nice. And this is going to be clipped, guys. So we are gonna we have a nicer camera that we are recording that's not the live videos, and we have the audio being recorded separately. So we're gonna clip it all together and make a nice YouTube podcast. Like you said, if we weren't here from the beginning, this is podcast 0. This was our test one. We wanted to see if you guys were interested in what we have to say.
Yep.
If you're like, hey, I hate these two clowns, then basically you just keep scrolling. It's kind of sweet. It's how it works.
But to be honest, I feel like everyone has to hate me at least one time in their life, or I'm not doing my job properly. Personal opinion. But after you know me, you know I'm a lovable person.
Keith says, I miss you guys. I have Medina fever. Well, then come back to Medina. It's pretty simple. No, I mean, I get it, man. He's 8 hours away. It's, I believe, Team Cleaners. Is that him?
Well, I plan something and say, hey, I want to come out and play.
I think they're like 8 hours away. They were just at Middletown recently.
Oh, the director in them?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Team Cleaners.
Yeah. Were they at Middletown or were they just at Medina? I can't remember.
Middletown.
It was Middletown, yeah. So they've been to both.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he likes both fields.
Shout out to them. They brought us some patches and stickers last time they came out.
Yeah, shout out to Team Cleaners. They're awesome. We love you guys.
My guy came out with a tuxedo on, all clean.
Yeah. And we just, we appreciate you guys making the drive, which is pretty awesome, coming from far away.
Says, I need to go airsofting. It's been a while. Medina and Middletown, we're always here.
Right.
Oh, yeah. We do not close for any reason other than holidays. There's not going to be a random day we're going to say, we feel like closing today. I'll never point anyone out, but we're always open.
Stop it right now. No, but we are open 4 days a week, and it kind of took me a while to even get to that point. I just didn't think there was enough community, but our Tuesdays are jumping.
Yes.
I love our Tuesdays at Medina. Wednesdays we do have now at Middletown, and we're building it up slowly, but we are going into busy season, so that's going to help too. But it's just to give the people that are in the service industry a better chance to play, because 9 times out of 10 you're going to be working Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was in the service industry for 6 years, longer than that, probably like 15 years. Just Romeo's I was at for 6 years. Shout out to Romeo's. We do a deal with them, and you get 25% off. You get delivered. Actually, best job I ever had. Actually, it's how I met this guy. We both worked at Romeo's, and I still love that. If MK ever goes down, guys, I'm going back to Romeo's, just so you know.
No, I love Romeo's. I gave them almost 11 years of my life. So
yeah, you got 17 years of a Romeo's experience right here. Yeah, it's a good job. Any more questions, guys, before we close this up?
We got a few comments.
Pat, are you playing on Saturday? Are you playing on Saturday?
No, I thought about it, but I actually have someone running my counter, so I can get out there and make sure the games are running fluently. Any hiccups, I want to be able to step in and help out.
Reading some comments from
Go ahead.
TikTok says here, Abri/DoomXDog, will you let other fields be on?
Other fields beyond? What does that mean?
I'm guessing what?
You lost me.
I'm lost too.
Are we going to go beyond 3 fields? Is that what he's asking?
Maybe.
More clarification needed. Shark says, I have my history teacher maybe coming out to Willard when it opens.
History teacher. I dig it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about when Willard opens.
Cleaners said they're going to be there in April. April's too far away. I'm going to need you to speed that up. That's way too far.
Do better.
10 hours away.
10 hours? Hey, we have people drive that far.
Rock's here.
Are you able to tell us the schedule for Willard? Look at this already. No, I'm just playing. Hey, so if after the live is posted, you can go back. We go into detail about Willard. Basically, it's never going to open. No, I'm just kidding, guys. It's going to open one day. Somebody just said...
Go first.
I just lost it. He said, how hard is it to open an airsoft place? That's a pretty big question, and I don't think we could cover it. It's not that it's super difficult. It's just about finding the right deal at the right time. I usually am not like super hidden about my finances, like some airsoft fields that are super afraid. And I'm not picking on anybody. That's pretty common because if you like just Google like how much airsoft fields do, it's like you get like 20 different answers. There's not like a straight answer on the amount of money that came in for the year of 22. So the problem with airsoft fields, there is no playbook. Yeah. It's not like opening a McDonald's and you can just follow this thing word for word, line for line, tells you exactly how much money. So the hardest thing, a big misnomer too, because of COVID, you cannot get a business loan unless you've been in business for 2 years. Yep. Your own LLC. So I actually didn't get a business loan. I saved up every dollar I had. The very first field, my initial investment was actually only $16,000. And that was literally like my savings account for like 5 years. I just saved every single dollar. And then we just, every month, I just reinvested. Our initial, like if you go way back and look, we had only rentals on the wall.
Yeah.
We had 3 pistols, I think. No, we didn't even have pistols. We had BBs. We had BBs for sale
10
on
bags
opening
of
day.
BBs.
And it was so bare, it was crazy. And now we have 60 plus rifles and tons of inventory. And I never took a loan. That was all just like taking money, putting it back in the business. The field, we're constantly updating. And, you know, it's because you guys show up. You know, that's what gets us to be able to put money back into the field. We're always updating the castle. We put the lab, the barracks.
Chernobyl.
Just so you guys know, like I said, I'm not shy about things. That addition to the 2-story, the original addition where we turned it into one big U, that was $12,000 in lumber. Like just that one addition. There was already 2 stories. We built an addition to make them 3. It was $12,000 just to do that.
Just to connect them.
Nothing in Airsoft is cheap. It's not impossible to open a field. I'm not gonna deter anybody from doing it. It's about finding rent that you can afford. That's the biggest thing.
And having a team to support you as well is a big thing. You know, between Caleb and me and a few other people at MK, it's never going to be why you can't do it. It's you can't do this, you can't do this. It's how are we going to figure out how to do it? Yeah. That's the big thing too.
Yeah, my brother was huge into the aspect of all of the lumber and building. I am the brains behind like designing the field. He is the brains behind actually building and the construction of the complicated stuff to make it legal by the state. Yes. You know, because when we get into 2 stories, you know, things have to be 16 on center. And I didn't know what plumb meant until I started working with him. So there's like level, and then there's level and plumb, which means I'm not even good at explaining it. If you give me a board, I can show you how to do it. But basically, it's 2 different kinds of level. Just any carpenter's probably laughing at me right now, but I'm not a carpenter by trade. I'm an airsofter.
It started like it started off too, which is great to think back. In the beginning, like no electricity starting off in Medina. Like we were building it.
We were building it in the dark.
Lights.
It was crazy. We had no lights installed, maybe 5 or 6 in the entire building. We had no heat. We were working in the cold, and we started in like a freaking December month.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, building Medina was the most depressing thing I've ever done. Because it was this huge, monstrous building. And I was just like, the list is never ending. And I was like, we're never going to get open. And we're just dragging like mountains of pallets in here because we had no money. And it was just like, it was rough.
Taking pallets apart to build tables. Bro, like
it was crazy.
Which is great to see how far we came.
I can't believe I forget you were there like on day 1. I forget that sometimes.
Because I was manufacturing forklifts, so I was working 6 to 4. So it's dark when I'm going to work, and then it's dark when I'm coming off, and then I'm coming into MK into a giant warehouse. And if you had to use the bathroom at MK, oh, you were screwed.
And the parking lot was full of semis and garbage, and it was insane. Like it was funny. Last thing I want to touch on this, the guy that owned us before was a paper manufacturer, and there was mountains of paper. And it was to the point where he was so slow at moving. He would take some paper out because we got lucky as our lease didn't officially start until he moved everything out.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it took him 4 months to get everything out of there. So he would
massive amount of paper.
He would move some paper and we would build something, and then he would move some paper and then we would build something, so he couldn't put stuff back.
It's like we're pushing him out
because we were like we have it, you know, we have this lease, we've signed it, we're here. But it was an interesting.
You know, I want to do a slideshow because I have pictures and videos of MK before it was MK.
Yeah, I did that for Middletown, by the way. Middletown's been open a year.
And I want you guys to see the mountains of papers and pallets and rolls of paper. It's unreal. Yeah. But go ahead. You had questions. I apologize.
Razor again. Question: do you guys do tech?
At the moment, we do not. We had a tech, but it didn't work out. We need someone who's going to be dedicating, you know, at least 1 day a week to us. If someone drives out an hour to have a schedule with the tech and he's not there, then it hurts him, you know. So at the moment, we do not have a tech.
All right, guys, we love you, and we will be back for podcast number 1 because this is 0.
It's just a trial run.
And we're going to come up with new topics. And we like answering your questions, too. So we will be live in addition to creating the podcast itself. So that we'll have a topic, and then we will also be answering your questions. I think you want to try to do every week, or you want to do every other week?
We're gonna see what we can do. Definitely would love to do every week.
Yeah,
but
that might
like
be
I
a
said,
lot. We might do every other week, just because we both have crazy stuff going on. And if Willard ever opens, you know, we are going to do Thursdays with Willard. So I'm going to do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just in case anybody's wondering.
You can play
when it does open.
Almost every day.
Yeah, so you'll be able to play Tuesday, and then if you want to drive to Middletown, you can play Wednesday. But that is it, guys. We appreciate you tuning in and asking us questions. If you want to watch this from the beginning, it will be uploaded to my YouTube channel, Masterkey Airsoft, and you'll be able to see the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right?
And if you guys have anything you want us to talk about, leave a comment.
Yeah,
The more
or send
comments,
us a
the better.
message.
Yeah.
And let us know for our next podcast what you would like us to talk about. All right? Peace out, guys.
Love you guys. Appreciate it.